Not yet.
Not yet.
I think we're live now. Hey,
All
yes.
right. Hi.
Where's the live 7 seconds?
Yeah.
We're 7 seconds into this Dada live stream, International Dada Festival, virtual 2020. In fact, it's
Welcome.
2020 is so messed up, it's got to be upside down. You know what I mean?
Oops,
this is
I don't
the
have 2020
problem.
glasses.
I do. 2020 is in distress, and we need help, and this is the help right now. Dada.
We're so happy to have you here. All right, so tell them about Dada, Peter.
So we have a Dada journal, MAINTENANT 14, which comes out annually. We've been doing it since Volume 2. Volume 1 was first done in 1913 by Arthur Cravan. He did MAINTENANT 1 through 6, but we began with number 2, and we've been doing it ever since. And we're now full color, hardbound, perfect bound, not hardbound, perfect bound book, 256 artists and writers from 33 countries and 6 continents. So this is what we're presenting tonight. Our East Coast contributors to MAINTENANT 14. We have 13 different contributors tonight who will be presenting their work here one-on-one with you, the audience, and then we'll be discussing a little bit with them. So
This, by the way, is the first of 7 sessions that we're having that are part of the 2020 International Virtual Dada Festival.
Yes.
Woo! So welcome and thank you so much for coming. And we're going to be having reading. We're going to have performances. We're going to have some art. And all of the people who are in the festival tonight are contributors to MAINTENANT 14, which is our annual Dada journal. And that journal is available tonight. Woo!
See that little scroll across the bottom of your screen? Get your copy of MAINTENANT 14 on our website. You can go there right now. Right. You can do it.
Right. So with no further ado, why don't we hear a little bit from Peter Karloftis, co-director of Three Rooms Press.
I just wanted to discuss Dada for a second. It grew out of, the catastrophe initiating Dada was World War I, and it kind of wiped the slate clean for all traditions, beliefs, and ideals, leaving only one imperative: to have none of the above, to have no traditions, no beliefs, no ideals, and move from there, creating a whole new set of non-ideals and non-beliefs and non-traditions. In fact, the one thing I like here is one of the Dada performances was done in Berlin. They had sketch of a performance, staged various versions of contests between sewing machine and typewriter. Whereas one person would be at a sewing machine and one would be at a typewriter, and they would begin sewing and typing at top speed, and the sewing machine operator would be pronounced the winner. They would receive a set of false whiskers and leave the stage to no applause. This was Dada. This was greatness. This was genius. So without further ado, we'll be presenting a couple other things like the theme I'll read the theme in a little while. Kat will read a piece, and in between all of our people. But first, let's bring to the live stream our first reader, which will be Robert C. Ford, the Wall Street poet. He's coming up at. I'll get him up there. Where is he? There he is. Whoa. The Wall Street poet, and look at him. He's a bull market, but maybe not today. But there he is.
Definitely not today. There's a lot of blood in the water. So greetings and salutations.
I like the dollar sign. That's very good.
Wow.
All right, go get him. Go get him.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't distract from the contribution to Dada that I'm about to read here. So the name of my contribution to MAINTENANT this year is The Day Saturn Lost Its Rings. It's a epic love story with a surprise ending a la The Crying Game. And for those of you scoring at home, I'm reading from page 157. The day Saturn lost its rings. It seemed we knew each other forever. I'd pick you up at Duane Reade, and we'd go jogging in Central Park or catch a movie. We watched Rocket Man 3 times. I was smitten by your rectangular body, your smooth and silky skin, your cobalt dress adorned with a wistful pink hibiscus flower. Your kisses were wet but soft and swept me away to faraway South Pacific islands. I knew you had other lovers, but they weren't so kind. Several times I rescued you from the street, badly beaten and missing your circular ribbed cap. Another time, airport TSA whisked you away. But when you were found inside a whale's stomach, I no longer could defend your purpose. I realized your superficiality. It's over. Goodbye, Fiji plastic bottled water. You're nothing but a marketing gimmick. I'm devoting myself to local tap. Besides, it's more pure. So pretty obvious I wasn't talking about a female. I was talking about a plastic Fiji water bottle. That's the surprise ending.
Tremendous.
Yay!
More
Thank
plastic.
you.
More plastic.
We love plastic.
We don't love plastic.
More
The
plastic.
earth is, that's our
Star of
theme.
the show.
More war.
Thank you, Robert C.
More
Ford.
plastic. More war.
Thank you for having me.
Robert C. Ford.
Yay. Okay.
Robert,
Now,
can we
next
back.
up. Whoops.
Robert, we're going to take you off, okay, and just watch.
So I'm going to drop off so somebody else can
Yeah.
join.
We'll have you back on later, okay?
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Wonderful.
Cool. Okay. So now we're next up.
Nobody's next up. We have to take a break till we get Linda up here. So,
Well, let's go with Benjamin.
but Benjamin, are you there? He's
Benjamin
ready.
is here.
We're going to cut to you, Benjamin, and hopefully we'll
Very
get
good.
Linda up next.
Yeah.
So, are you ready to
Me,
get out of the park?
Knock one out of the
totally ready.
Okay,
Totally
good.
ready.
So
I got two little things here.
Go get it.
2 poems.
Okay.
The first is my contribution to Maintenant 14, and it's one of those after poems. It's after Rilke's poem about archaic torso of Apollo. You all know it. It's the poem where the sculpture either says or seems to say to the speaker, "You must change your life." As you know, art is always telling us to change our lives. My poem is More Archaic Torso. Tighten Up by Archie Bell and the Drells tells me I must change my life. Rousseau's Tiger in Rain Jungle tells me I must change my life. Woody Guthrie's Talking Dust Bowl Blues, Common's Thelonious, Portrait of a Lady tell me I must change my life. The Picasso in Daly Plaza tells me I must change my life. Wichita Vortex Sutra tells me I must change my life. Turner's The Burning of the Houses of Parliament tells me I must change my life. Edward Hopper's New York Movie tells me I must change my life. That's the first. Hold your applause for the second. I wrote a little book a couple years ago. Part of the book is 6 poems, a little sequence about photographs of Allen Ginsberg. It's called Pictures of Ginsberg. The book is Ho Chi Minh, A Speculative Life in Verse and Other Poems. 6 poems about Ginsberg. This one, 6 poems about photographs of Ginsberg. This one is like the overture to the sequence. It is called Allen Ginsberg's Penis. Allen Ginsberg's penis, which traveled much in the realms of gold, appears not infrequently in the photographic record of his life. In one well-known picture, annotated by the poet in fountain pen, he displays it before the Sea of Japan as he holds a bamboo staff that is taller than himself and whose slim verticality makes a strong formal contrast with the poet's pendant member. His annotations include the phrase, "My camera in Gary's hands," In another, taken in London on the poet's 39th birthday by John Hopkins, scenester, anarchist, impresario, Ginsberg gambles about somebody's flat wearing nothing but clip-on bunny ears. Two conservatively dressed young people stand near him, looking squarely at the camera, to which Ginsberg, up on one foot, offers a studied disregard. The genius of the photograph lies in how Hopkins' camera invests Ginsberg's penis with the illusion of motion. There are several in which he screens it with his hand while directing to the camera a look that can only be described as coy, others where it appears en plein air beneath a grinning appendectomy scar. In all of these photographs, posed or candid, amateur or professional, Allen Ginsberg's penis presents as compact and robust, a sturdy fellow traveler, sufficient unto the day. How's that for Dada?
All right, let me get in there.
Okay.
Okay, way to go, Benjamin Goluboff in Chicago, Lake Forest, north, little north of the Chi-Town, but
Right.
you're coming to us from the Midwest, so it's exciting to have that sort of thing go on so easily. We were, out and about and could be anywhere, but you probably wouldn't have been with us, if we were down the street here on Bleecker doing our live stream show. So it's exciting to be able to bring people from different parts of the country and the world at this time. It's not a great time. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but here you are. It's 2020 in distress.
Hey!
So
right.
Exciting to be here from the Midwest.
We haven't seen Linda yet, but we've got Patricia Leonard.
Leonard, are you ready? Patricia, bye-bye, Benjamin. Thank you so much. If you want to log out, we'll bring you back later. Thank you.
All right. Here comes Patricia.
Yay! We had you last week too, right?
Yes. I'm excited to be back.
Very day we were together.
Right.
And of course, down below, don't forget, you can get a copy of Maintenant 14.
And if you do have a copy of Maintenant 14, Patricia Leonard's piece is on page 137.
Yeah.
Woo! You can follow along in your book. So, Patricia, what do you have to say today?
I am going to read my piece from this year's Maintenant and also last year's Maintenant.
Yay! All right, we're going to let you go.
Go.
We're going to sit in the green room with the cast.
All right.
So my first piece this year was
Hold on a second. You're again, it's the same thing as last week. Your voice, your sound's only good if we're up here. So don't worry about us. We're just going to sit and listen, but we're going to stay on the screen, okay? And that way everyone can hear you.
okay, as long as everyone can hear me.
That's that's the most important thing.
Okay, it's strong.
Yeah.
Sometimes even the strongest break. The oldest of trees, rooted deep into the earth, grounded for many years, carrying the weight of burdened souls weeping underneath them, seeking shelter and comfort from the world around them, withstanding the roughest storms nature can conjure up, and still the willow sways and bends, but never breaks. Shedding its leaves upon the earth, releasing the responsibility of its purpose, and it is me. Structured and fixed as a permanent ground for those surrounding, standing tall and firm, ready to bear the inconsiderate children whose laughter and play warm the air, who tug and abuse every part and every inch without splinters, cuts, or bruises. The tree caresses their fragile bodies and stables them through generations. It is always the tree in the yard that brings childhood happiness and thundering sadness, whose fond memories relate time and time until one day something lights a fire in its very core. And just before the fire emerging, a weeping soul left the tree with nothing but embers, and in turn the tree has lifted another light. And little by little this happens again and again until the tree has no core. lost all of its very grounding and roots, lost what brought it to life. And no longer could the willow spring any leaves. But who cares about the tree and its losing fight to pollution? We all know the problem and always choose to turn the other cheek because there's always a skinnier tree or a younger bush or a sturdier vine to swing from, none of which can keep your feet firmly planted on the ground. But who am I kidding? These words are not profound. People are too wrapped up in their own shit to own their own shit. And the little kid in me is steadily picking at a scab, knowing that one innocent intention can lead to uncontrollable bleeding. But having blind faith in something no one can believe because I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid that my paralyzed emotions have come off too strong. And who else can I depend on for the words of wisdom and the strength to keep holding on? That maybe, just maybe, one day I'll be in touch with the stars in the sky and fly high amongst the birds in the sky. Carefree living, but another soul has burdened me yet again, leaving me with empty tears and broken hopes, because someone has to be strong. So the second one I'm going to read, it's a little short. It's from Marchant 13, which you can find on Amazon for less than $20. Just saying. This one is called Battle Within. Nerves are what make you feel human. And sometimes the weight of the heart weighs heavier on the brain because everyone wants love. But my mind is the busiest place I know. I feel like all the walls that I've built up around me are slowly crumbling down and I with it. And I'm used to disappointment. But this feels like the deepest hole created in the very foundation I worked so hard to lay. I speak into existence down the black hollowed alley, and all I hear is the echoes of my own voice. Shattered dreams and hopes of freedom have been shackled down again by wants and unrealistic boundaries. I've come a long way, but the scared little child in me knocks at my heart every step of the way. Every twist and every turn I make has been to preserve. But when it comes crashing, it is I who is left alone, time and time again to defend my life and all the things in it. The biggest battle of them all is the battle within myself. I can conquer the moon and the stars and still feel lost, but all I really want is to feel loved. Thank you.
You are loved. You've got a big fan there.
I love you guys too.
It's like at least Kat and I have a fan. See, Kat, Kat, see, you've got your fan, but we can't see him down there or her. Who is that?
There's a bunch of them everywhere.
Okay, tons of dogs there.
Yes, but I have to shout out my PA3 who signed in, who's also a poet.
PA3.
Yay! Maybe it's a shout out.
Woo!
With CHOOW, shout out.
Shout.
Shout out. Shout out.
All right.
All right. Very good, Patricia. Thank you.
Guys.
We're gonna. Are you good? Do you have to go somewhere, or are we gonna?
No, I'm here.
I'm gonna take you off and sign back in a little later. Okay.
No problem.
All right.
Bye.
So thank you so much. And okay. Very
All
good.
right.
Here we are, and we're going to bring up our next reader, and then we'll take a little time to discuss a little more about our book. But please bring up, we're honored to have Fred Marchant here, a poet extraordinaire,
Yay,
teacher,
Fred!
helping many people carry on the art of poetry in a good way. So don't worry. Just bring up Fred, okay? I want to see Fred.
All right, here comes Fred.
Bring up Fred. Bring him up.
All right.
He's here.
Fred Marchant.
Can he be heard?
Yes, he
Yeah.
can.
All right. So I want to thank you both. I was with you last week also, and it was really wonderful. And the magazine is wonderful. And one of the most wondrous things about it, of these 260 pages, is that it's sort of half and half poetry and visual art. I want to show you what I was just looking at, if I can hold it up. This, I hope everyone can see this wonderful painting by Eric Drucker, and it's called President Ahab. And the windswept hair and the tie says it all, of course, with a harpoon. And that story, of what happens to the Pequod is a story about the ship of state, this country, and its propensities. I also want to say a word about Dada, and Peter's great sense of its origins and the absurdity and the massive amount of death in World War I. The death that seemed meaningless. And I want to, as I was listening to us begin tonight, I kept hearing in the back of my mind the ever-growing number of deaths from the pandemic, and how those numbers start to mean less and less, even though the lives mean more and more. And I want to say that sense of Dada is also, I think, surrounding us tonight. I'm going to read a poem from Maintenant 14, and then I'm going to go back and read one from Maintenant 12. This is called What? What? It was a time of mid-level feelings with mid-level degrees of authenticity. We all got along well, and yet we were troubled by the direction we were taking. We had a leader, one might say a dear leader, but that would be too ironic for our taste. Still, we had a leader, and there were troops overseas. We couldn't remember the name of the language of the people we fought, but it was more or less a difficult tongue with a strange tribal history. The words, mostly like a secret handshake. We still had enough fuel back then to face the winters, which we all agreed were getting milder. My beloved and I calculated we had about 20 years to go. We had no children. We planned on getting a dog to see us through. Outside the window of the room where we spoke, a brilliant azure sky, and the deep, shadowy green of the maple thriving beneath it. The temperature was perfect. Nothing felt so complicated we would not eventually come to terms with it. What? I now see the legitimacy and depth of the question. What were we afraid of? What were we trying so hard not to think about? What looping snare inside held us back, froze us, tightened, then broke us at the neck? Maintenant 12 had as its theme a theme of the sort of the asinine thumbs up of like, and I was thinking about Dada and its celebration, as several tonight, of the celebration of new ways of thinking about what were fit subjects for art. So this is not a like, but it's an ode, a mini ode to Roy Orbison. It's kind of like wondering why he's in the back of my mind. It's called Orbison. But there's a colloquial word out of Arkansas called rack-and-sacking, and I can tell you the definition of it. It's a hardscrabble backwoods wilderness, a seemingly worthless landscape not fit for civilization. That sounded like a Dada word and Dada concept. Orbison. Ego, superego. Sound. The entire shebang. An imaginary friend, my worst best self, and vice versa. My preteen preoccupation, my halo in the helmet, my dream's primary process, the uninterrupted, ongoing, one and only, beyond interpretation, the from which when pure breath without meaning, of unknown origin. How this all began, whether as a thorn in the amygdala or a blowfly that settled, wings waving, though they sound like buzzing, eyes with 1,000 lenses and images, my ointment stuck panicky wings, flimsies, weak and weaker still, my total rack and sack cracked den, filled with blue sirens and the top 40 oldies, me strapped to a mast and out on the floor, feeling Roy watching over me, mercy. And if you heard that sound, if you've ever heard that sound, you know what I mean. Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Wonderful,
I
Fred.
know what
Thank
you mean,
you.
Fred. All
We
right.
are so honored to have you
Cool.
join us and be in our book, first of all, but it's an honor to.
My privilege, my pleasure too.
It's an honor that you feel, like creating with us.
Yeah.
It's really you're a special kind of creator,
Right.
and I mean that.
Thank you, and you, both of you too.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we'll
We're gonna-
see. Hopefully, we can see you at
I'm
the end.
here.
And
Bring everybody
you
back.
can
So
keep watching on Facebook.
I'm going
or-
to take
or-
you off and log back in later on the
Okay.
last round.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right, good.
All right.
Hello, everybody. So I'm gonna
What are you
read
doing?
the
Don't kick us.
no.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna read our theme for this year was unsustainable shit. So if
This
you
cover- This cover was by Walter Robinson, who's a great pop artist.
neo-pop artist, New York City, neo-pop artist extraordinaire, and we went over to his studio and
And what do we call this cover?
we call this cover "These Are Our Children" because this is the progeny we're going to leave this earth.
It's
you know?
5 images, actually. There's one in the background that's golf clubs. And then he has paintings of each of the other things, which is giving them their full notable place that people and humanity gives them every day, which is pretty insane.
You look at our bodies; will be buried 100 years from now into dust, and you'll still see a little plastic jar of Vicks mentholatum on the shelf. Will still be sitting there exactly
Right.
the same. Those are our children. These are our offspring. So
There
that's
you
on the
go.
cover here. So I'm just going to read the intro that I have for unsustainable bullshit. That's what we're up against. Everything there is just about become unsustainable, especially in the leadership department. It's certainly unsustainable, and that has to be the first change we make here real soon. So here's the intro I have. Dada was born as an artistic protest, an unfettered reclamation of the trenches, flowing blood. Along came influenza, which couldn't choose sides. And now here we sit in isolation, 100 years later, still creating. Revolutionaries now facing a new form of plague, accompanied by demagogic projections. Each page to follow is a physical conviction. Each spread relates an intimate correspondence. The entire volume is a familial tree of leaves and shapes and buds of thoughts to be. Our theme might be unsustainable shit, but here is one soul, the moment is sustainable. So that's what we have. MAINTENANT 14, right here within the pages, 256 artists and writers.
From 33
30
countries.
And
We're trying to build this community in the face of a time where everybody is completely isolated. That's why we're doing this festival. We have almost 100 performers over 7 nights, and this is night number 1. So you guys who are watching out there in Facebook land, thank you for being there and being a part of night number 1. 6 more shows to go and more tonight. Who's next, Peter?
next, we're going to bring up Joel Allegretti. Look at him. There he is. He's been in many a MAINTENANT. Years and years now. He's been a true blue kind of a contributor. Every year it comes up with something highly original, and I always look forward to seeing your contributions, Joel.
Thank
and
you.
It's a pleasure having you here on our first night. So I'm going to leave you be with the audience and knock them dead.
Thank you. And I want to thank Kat and Peter for including me in another superb issue of Maintenant. I can say in all sincerity, in fact, I have said it, I've written it on Facebook, that Maintenant is one of my favorite journals in the whole wide world. And they're getting contributors from the whole wide world. I have 2 pieces, 2 short pieces, and I'll start with my contribution to Maintenant 9, which carried the theme Techno Prisoners. Engines more reasonable than men. The title phrase appears in Stanislav Filko's Associations 28, a list of imagined milestones collectively called the future exploration of the universe according to scientists. Engines more reasonable than men is a prediction for 2080. Monday. They spend the day pledging their commitment to a balanced budget. Tuesday. Reiterating the pledge, they begin. Wednesday, they congratulate themselves on their dedication and progress. Work resumes. Thursday, work continues. Friday, they achieved a balanced budget. Acknowledging their obsolescence, they shut down for good. Saturday, they are removed and replaced in preparation for the coming week's agenda. And now I'll present my contribution to Maintenant 14. The History of Japanese Movie Monsters, King Ghidorah, originally Kingu Ghidorah. Care for this planet as if you fear a three-headed space dragon will come down to torment the human race in retaliation for neglect. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joel.
Yay, Joel!
You're terse and right on topic, and always interesting concepts and presentation. Thank you so much for joining us. Here's Kat.
There's a lot to work with.
Hi.
We're Kat and I are coming up on our 27th anniversary,
So you know what 27 means.
you know what 27 means. It was the bad year for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I've told her that when, in essence, it's our 27th year, it's really going into our 28th. So we've already made the 27, right?
Right.
Like when you're born, you get a first year without becoming one. So
Okay.
thank you so much, Joel. We'll see you on the other side. I'll just leave you in the green room. And guess who's following you? Martine Bellen. So we're gonna bring her up right away. And you guys were in a Bob Dylan. Well, you were both in a Bob Dylan book. Was that what I heard?
No, that was a different.
That was Benjamin. Which one were you in? Rabbit ears. We were all.
Rabbit ears.
Yeah, I got rabbit ears right now. I think I could get TV with this wig.
Yeah.
Joel was the extraordinary editor of the anthology Rabbit Ears, the first anthology of TV poetry, and it's fantastic. But here tonight, we're here to celebrate Maintenant 14.
Thank you so much. I'm going to leave you with the audience. Go get them, Tigress.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm very happy to be a new member of the Maintenant community. This is the first issue of Maintenant that I've had poetry in. And for my unsustainable shit, I reframed a sci-fi fairy tale. And the title of the poem is called The Habitable Zones. Our planet, third from the light bulb, is coniferous, aboriginal forest in a persistent darkling dome firmament. Always it is night, and always we are an old growth, multi-layered canopies and woody debris, dead stand hardwoods with fungal ecosystems, tangles with burrs and bramble and spies and stars that eye us as we follow song lines to outer world spheric solar systems. Always on the autumnal equinox we set forth, for the first/last time with a basket of baked goods. Always our target is a wizened ancient's home, hidden in the heart of the primary forest. We forget why we are walking, why we are aging. Our drive is instinctual, written within us, our maps in our brains firing us on. We scope the landscape, thoroughly aware we are departing as one planet in one body that has been written in a universe 300 million miles from home. Having been conscripted increases urgency, echoes through the 8 million clusters of 8 spheres around 8 million light bulbs that shine and blow out like birthday candle stars. Our forebears speak directly into our femurs that navigate the stones we skip past, the streams we stomp through, the squirrels that scamper off our trails minutes before we approach. Feelings tiptoe through us. We feel blue, green, magenta. We feel fern, moss, duff. We feel defiance and indebtedness. to what we animate. We are walking forward toward senescence, the process of deterioration. She, the ancient, is losing sentience with each step closer we draw, each page further into the tale. She, the ancient, is metamorphosing into animal, brown matted fur, gleamless, indistinct. When we arrive at the ancient's hut, she has returned to her fetish animal through the fetid old growth and animal awakening. If this were a story created by a single volition, we might destroy the forest path, steal our granny's bounties, rest our ear on her heart and pump it out. Or we might look yonder as others scrape her uterine walls, snatch her ancient ooze for personal gain. But we have come to understand this tale is beyond the telling of a single Majid, that its interruption obliterates sound itself, and light crafts the holocaust of atmospheres chained to one, to all, revolving around our power grids, matrices and blueprints for star banks and lexicons, concepts and kinetics, God scopes and gyroscopes, farther and farther and farther past, others and more mothers, not sequential, but circuits, a circus of beyond. That's it. Thank you.
All right, Martine, Bellen, thank you. Your
Nice.
very first time
I love
together.
that.
Very good.
That was
Beautiful
very
work.
beautiful. Thank you.
Facebook user just wrote,
Sublime.
look at that.
Sublime.
Facebook user.
Thank you,
All right.
Facebook user. Christian.
Thanks for
Joe.
joining us. We'll be joining you later. I'll try to get everybody up here. Thank you. I'm going to take you off now. Our problem here is we have Linda Lerner, but she can't get on. So we're having some kind of problem with the StreamYard. Technical issues with the amount of people we can have on. So we're going to be changing that. And that's why this is our initial foray into this, to figure that out. And we apologize to Linda for not being able to get on. And as an apology, Kat is going to read her piece.
I want to read Linda Lerner's piece. Linda, I hope you're there. If you're there, give a shout out. So this is Linda Lerner. She is on page 223 of this beautiful volume, MAINTENANT 14. Woo!
14.
A sea of green. Jumping from noun to verb, green your way down grocery store aisles, scanning the small print on packages for what isn't good for you or isn't the planet, making sure no one saw what you put in your basket. Heard you tell the cashier, plastic is fine. Or the person behind you, one with the smug look, turning around so her Whole Foods cloth bag is in your face. Lost in a sea of green of the dollar bill. It always comes down to, and never having, enough of wanting to do the right thing. Only green took the red out of everything. The taste out of what you used to enjoy, till there was no orange or yellow or any other color. Even what looked green might not be green enough, someone said. It became the way your mind breathed, looked on others, recycling every hour of the day to discard with the garbage, put in the right bin, right mind slot, make sure no one is watching, sees when you slip up, ready to report.
All right, Kat.
That was Linda Lerner.
We also have
Green.
Linda Lerner, Sea of Green. Thank you so much,
Beautiful.
Linda. Sorry we couldn't get you
That's
on
a
here.
beautiful piece, especially for the theme of this issue, unsustainable.
Also now We have Ron Kolm isn't feeling well, so hopefully he's going to bounce back and maybe he'll join us on a later date.
Yeah.
But we have a short piece by him in the book, very quick. It's called Beach Party. We sit on a beach wrapped in a blanket, watching the mass missiles pass above, heading inland. I tell her how much I care, but she only laughs, closes her eyes, and leans back slowly. So
Ron Kolm.
Ron Kolm.
Yeah, that reminds me of a Minuteman song. When the bombs start falling on the first day of World War III, gotta grab me a girl and go and fuck her. Yeah, yeah. World War III. Minuteman, Mike
Minuteman.
Wadgy, boom. All right, there you go. Who's next, Peter?
Let's see. We have Paul Sohar we're going to bring up. Come on up, Paul. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Paul.
Yeah, I can see myself now.
Good, good. We haven't seen you
I-
for a long time.
Mm.
Well, the last time I read with you was from a prose book,
Right,
a
we did.
short story.
Have a night. Yeah,
Maybe it wasn't the Maintenant, it was
No.
an
have a nice.
anthology.
It was have a nice story. So
Yeah,
we're going to leave you be now with the audience. So give it your all. All right. And Paul Sohar, here he is.
okay. Global warning. Just when you will need it most, in your penthouse overlooking a brand new desert in Central Park, your AC will stop running, out of juice. No way of running it by hand. But don't worry, when gas runs out, there will be some flunkies to pull your Mercedes practically for nothing, just for the privilege of staying alive. All you do is point your gun at them, and they will hitch themselves to the grill and make your chariot work again. There will be plenty of electricity-starved computer cables lying around for harness. When the bullets run out, you will point a spear at them fashioned out of TV antennas and blank traffic signals. With all that garbage lying around, human ingenuity will have a field day. Your imagination is the only limit to the future. When cans run dry and cereal packages are all used up, rats will do. Smart investors are already heavily into rat belly futures. But of course, by then, money will cease to be the arbiter of commerce, replaced by the spear and the club. Keep a great big pipe wrench ready now. Maybe not one, but two. One in your bunker and another in your Mercedes. They will come in handy soon, unless some other smart speculator grabs them from you and uses it on your head. Time alone will not run out, but not much to chew on it, and makes you thirstier in the long run. So I just have one to read, because the other one I did for 3 Room Press was a short story.
That's correct.
Right.
I want to work for you in the future. Paul,
I want to work for you in the
we
rat
want
belly
to be
futures.
the harness. We want to be harnessed to your. You can count on us, baby.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks so much for joining us and sending in your piece, and we'll see you on the back end. We'll say goodbye. Okay.
Okay.
So now we have your friend and mine, Anna O'Meara. Anna, hello.
Hi everyone. Oh, I'm so honored to go after Paul. That was such a great poem. Thank you so much
Where are you?
for reading that.
Where are you hanging out?
I'm in Indiana right now, actually, on my way to Victoria, Canada.
Okay.
So I miss the hell out of New York.
We want to go to Canada with you. We want to be trapped.
You're always invited. Once I get there, of course.
For those of you out there in Facebook and YouTube land, Anna O'Meara has done some terrific translations of Arthur Kervan's original Maintenant, which is available now on academia.edu. And it's amazing. He was our inspiration for all of what we're doing. So the fact that you've gone back to this original 1912, 1913, 14, did you translate all 5 of them or 4 of them?
You know, I haven't actually translated all of his works. I think I got up to Maintenant 4, and then I decided to do this really funny sketch about Americanness. Which I recommend. And I collaborated with Luca Volino. He's been a great friend and collaborator in translation. But yeah, I just retranslated the Kervan. It's fresh and it's better than it was when I was a kid.
That's great. So she's on page 87. Take it away, Anna.
Thank you so much. So today I'm going to try to read 2 poems from Maintenant 14. In the spirit of collaboration, my friend Tony and I wrote the first poem, and he wrote a beautiful response, which was really meaningful to me. I like it when poetry is not just a collaboration, but a conversation. I was talking to the person I wrote this poem about right before I came on, and he said, slow down your reading. It's a poem about anxiety, so that can be tough because it's a very fast-paced poem. And also I asked, is this too scandalous to read on the internet? He said, it's a good poem. And I said, well, okay, so here we go. It's a scandal. This is called Sustain in the spirit of the theme. I love the feeling of a good old heart attack, like right before a presentation in front of all sorts of people who think they're more important than they are, and everyone else thinks they're important too, but I don't. If Freud were still around, he'd prescribe cocaine for such a meeting because he knew it would be fun, or maybe because he was up in the stratosphere of networking, or so they call it, which maybe is why he got so famous, just like everyone else who got so famous. Maybe that feeling of a panic attack is kind of like an orgasm because it's overwhelming, or maybe it's like a nightmare about running, where you don't even realize you feel bad or even that you are running until you wake up and you remember feelings that are now conveniently in the past. I'm in love, and it feels like cocaine. I'm worried that I'm not apprehensive. Something is so sure. Darling, baby, puffin, muffin, squirrel. I could never lose this one sense of smell. You know when the smell is right, don't you? What does forever feel like? I feel surrounded by novelty, which is not what people say. They say it's supposed to feel like it already happened, deja vu. It isn't like that, it's a rush, like a nightmare where you're running, but a pretty one, you know? The coastline of Connecticut, it's so green and clear, like a never-ending golf course regatta. I don't think I've ever been to Connecticut, but I keep dreaming about running away from there, as though it were an amoeba or a djinn that snuck into New York and infected it and possessed it without my even realizing. You see it so visibly in dreams. The architecture is so beautiful, but my body feels incapable. I might faint in front of all these kids, or vomit, or piss in front of them. I'm not allowed to leave the room legally without another certified adult, so I'll just piss right here in front of all these kids as I think about my coffee drinking habits, which will kill me so many years younger than other people die. I dreamt I was in a place like Venice, circling round an islanded temple on a boat. There were 2 statues of women who looked like they could be the Elgin marbles, or the caryatids of the Erechtheion. Erechtheion. Who were they? One was Joan of Arc, but I'm not sure about the other one. We were so happy to spin and spin in donuts, like wintertime Ford Taurus Midwestern pre-ABS break early 2000s days. So short-lived, right? The things we loved then seem so far away and unlovable now. Okay. The next one's short. It's the response. It's by Anthony Cox. And in this response, he's a brilliant poet, in my opinion. He talks about the possibility of getting hit by a bus as a hypothetical. And he actually just survived a serious accident in the ambulance he drives. So it's kind of eerie to me to read this here to you today. This friend who means so much to me. The French revolutionaries say that friendship is the greatest virtue. So here's to Anthony. A woman mentioned a genie today when I was picking up a patient at the nursing home. She said she couldn't get that genie back in the bottle, and I was like, fuck, she's channeling Anna. How could she know? But she couldn't know. I was in the elevator, but that's not how I remember it. Fuck, where have I been? It's almost like a dream. She was walking at me. Maybe she was walking at me because she wanted on the elevator, but why was she talking to me? It was heavy, like meaningful. More so in my memory, perhaps, but it just happened. That's not even the deja vu. I guess that's not really inseparable from love. You love one person and it makes you love all people in a way. You're suddenly useful. I don't mean in a get a job kind of way, but love makes you an able soldier for the future, which is my fondest image of you. God, that's what I want for myself. I don't think it's impossible. If anything, I see more of it all the time. I try to nurture that thing that loves and gives to other people, and whatever it takes me, whoever it loves, whatever it builds, even if I get hit by a bus next week or die at a very old age, the same kind of marginal, eccentric slacker I am today, I think that's a good life. That was the right way. Thanks, Tony. That was so good. Okay, that's it. That's me. How do I get out?
We're now Swan Mediums. Okay. Thank you, Anna Mira. All right, I will be your host now for the next few readers. And we have now 4 more readers coming up to you. We have Yrik Valentonis, John Paul, Bruce Robinson, and Jane LeCroy. First, I'm going to read a short poem of mine because I can. So here we go. This is a poem that is a collage because collage is a big feature of Dadaism. So here we go. Drifting into collage land because rug, a surprise mouth, an arm, lead pipe, grizzly bear, Empire State Building, the girl in the bikini, Dolly's mustache. No, not flight, but fight. This world, spaghetti, the sonogram, palm tree, moon, full spectrum vision. Not cut up, not chaos, the unwind, the day, the office, bank, parking lot, bed, a kiss, deep and sensual, spark. Then the phone, the text, the brother, the heater stopped working, hungry, almonds. Now, where was I? There are 5, no 6 computer screens on my desk, and my mind is one big twist. I am electric this year, but it was always this way. The sidewalk, the windows, a quarter, 2 women pushing baby strollers, a car, a piano, the sky, then the cloud. Hi, hey, how are you? An old friend, a breeze, a newspaper, blowing by like a sail. Yesterday's news. It is always yesterday's news. The world old seems to be moving faster and faster. But the news, new, is always, was, always yesterday, yesterday, yesterday. All right. Woo!
Cat George's.
And now
We've got our, is there any, well, let's push the book for a second.
Yeah.
We do have copies of MAINTENANT 14.
It's available
Here
right
it is,
now.
256 writers and,
Right.
and artists in the pages here, their work, and 33 countries, 6 continents. Pretty soon we'll have someone from Antarctica. We're looking for penguin tracks or something, maybe. Okay, so
So next up, we have
Eric Valentonis.
Eric Valentonis.
He's down in Tampa, Florida. No,
All right, Eric.
Hello.
that where you're Tampa?
Tampa, Florida. Yes.
Okay.
Eric. And if
All
you're
right.
reading along at home, his piece is on page 120. All right, so take it away, Eric.
So I can't really read it for you.
Is good food.
So I have a few poems for you. I will start with the piece from last issue. Warning: the instructions for this product make no sense. People haiku. Some people just can't live in a haiku world. Atomic haiku. I have radioactive strawberries in my refrigerator and nuclear sperm at my disposal. Urban haiku. Sprinklers shoot false rain on the pavement, making it grow. Road. Driving down the freeway behind the devil's grandma, her car spewing toxic waste, grinding up natural preserves. She flicks a cigarette butt into my eye and turns on her blinker. Smog. The smog creeps on mutated webbed feet. It oozes through acid rain and toxic waste with long half-life, biodegrading. And I will end it with moon crabs. Refurbished parts for sale, gently used, cleaned for you, mechanical nostalgia, giant rockets launched from white beach sand, hermit crabs scurrying, vapor trail cloud stairway. Climb back home, pressurized spacesuits, from abandoned auto parts, carburetor shuttle, antennae watching Earth. An apocalypse practice, my contribution to the 2-word t-shirt.
Woo!
We all need to practice for the
Eric
apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
We're just going through the motions now until the real thing.
Which should
So,
be in about 10 minutes.
Could be in 10 days.
Yeah.
We shall see. But a very,
Thank
very,
you so much.
very interesting topics there, Eric. And
Yeah, and if you get the book, you'll really be able to enjoy Eric's drawing, which I love.
Nuke is good food.
That's why
Nuke is good food.
Okay, so thank you, Eric. And next up, please welcome to the 2020 International Virtual Drawdown Festival, the one, the only, we call him JP John Paul. Woo! You see all those paintings behind him? He painted all those and thousands more. Thank you so much for joining us from Brooklyn.
2020.
I hope you can hear me, and thank you very much for the invitation. I'm the home of technical difficulties to steal Phil Schaff's line. I'm very unfriendly with the high tech, but let's get this done before it disappears. To everyone else, my contributions have been visual. I'm a painter, and the writing part hasn't really come in to Maitland. But here we go. This is just something I do. And I've been keeping a log of dreams, and I put the date like 09/25/16. That would mean September 25th of 2016. Tribeca. On a 10 a.m. weekday, visit to our old neighborhood on Greenwich Street. I park my red Ford 250 truck in the lot behind the building. There's plenty of space. I'm on a handyman house call in the building, but I no longer live there. The parking lot attendant Harry is not around. So I make my visit to the rich artist who needs a nail in the wall. Harry is a lively Greek, happy with his job of keeping the lot neat and orderly. My truck is parked where I left it when I finished, but I noticed that the tailgate is down and the toolbox is exposed to anybody that walks by. A few more cars and vans have arrived, and now Harry is out on the lot. My first thought is that he's pissed off at me because I didn't find him in his hut to drop off the key. But there's no need for apology. He is smiling and wants to show me something. He beckons me nearer with mysterious enthusiasm and leads me towards the edge of the lot. Curious, I follow, but as we walk, my steps feel caught up and magnetized, swept by a strange and powerful current. A few yards past the fence, we inhabit a transformed landscape as flat as the Great Salt Lake in Utah. Dotson River is paved over. Somehow the roads have disappeared. Everything west of the lot has been cleared for expansion. I now understand Harry's smile. He has outlasted everyone in Quick Park and enjoys his promotion as the new manager of Parking Unlimited.
Wow! How about that? Parking Unlimited! The new manager!
Okay.
This
All right.
world is so crazy. You know, we have some laughs, but you know, we're all like hanging on.
I know.
But thank you so much, JP.
My
these
pleasure.
videos are just, you know, just absolutely gorgeous and just a tiny sample of all the great work you do. Check out MAINTENANT to find his more of his work
His artwork.
and we'll see you back at the end. All right. So we're getting down to it. Oh my God.
Final two
Session
readers.
1. We have 2 more readers. Only 2 more readers left. So please welcome now to the Dada stage. The virtual Dada stage, Bruce Robinson. Woo!
Okay, here I am.
All right, thank you. First on and second to last off. But
Thank you so
happy
much
to have
for
you here.
joining us. And here's to you, Mr. Robinson.
Ah.
Leave the stage to you.
All right.
Okay. Vestiges of the floating world. They didn't see it coming. How could they? And then it rained, and we weren't witness. But it did rain, you know, poured. So we can only surmise, although we weren't witness, that the days grew in upon themselves, or so we might surmise, despite the unavailable clocks and our inability to witness, for there were no clocks to set the tone, and the odd nights and even days foreshortened. There dawned nothing, perhaps, because we mistrusted the clocks, who seemed to us ever unavailable to point the way. And look, there was nothing they could do about it. I mean, how could they? We too. We never saw it coming. And working on a bunch of poems involving a cat, Henry. This is very short. Birds on Parole. When a song comes into their heads, birds have the good sense to just chirp it away, get it out, be done with it. Henry lies poised on the windowsill, entranced and, even though he's just eaten, ravenous. Could writers, faced with the slack-jawed awe of their audience, wish for more when spooling out a villanelle that's taken months to build, their gaze resting on readers without claws, stomachs filled? Thanks.
Bruce
Robinson,
Bruce.
thank you so much for joining us.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much. I love your piece in MAINTENANT 14. I was so happy to hear another piece too. So hang on a second. We'll bring you back. And finally, now we're going to go to our last reader, our final reader. And that would be none other than
Showstopper.
the showstopper herself, Miss Jane LeCroy. Yay!
Literally.
Jane
Stopping
LeCroy.
to go at the end of this.
Okay. Get
So.
off. Leave Jane to all of her gorgeous beauty.
Don't say get off around Jane.
This is a cross-out poem, so it is visual.
Okay.
I took it from Art Treasures of the Louvre. I actually made a cross-out poem from every description of each painting in the Louvre. Madonna of the Angels. Emerge from the collective anonymity. Today, it is almost impossible to determine what is fact and what is fable. Indeed, some even doubt existence, with its maritime attachments to the importance of details flowing, in the beauty imposing, in the simplicity. That was just left behind. It was a carved poem. I didn't write any of the words. I crossed out a bunch of words. I love making those. They're addicting. And isn't that true? Today it is almost impossible to determine what is fact and what is fable. You guys, this is a civil war in the information age. This is what the battlefield looks like. We're going to know that later, but just know it now. This is a civil war. This is Same Symptoms. This is from my new record with my band, The Icebergs. We're Melting. It's streaming everywhere on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, on Pandora. Just look up The Icebergs, and the name of the record is Advice. Not like, it's a play on words, ADDVICE. So it's advice to advice. And this song is on there. It's called Same Symptoms. Same symptoms, different disease. Same prayer, different knees. We beg and we beg, please, please, please. We beg and we beg, please, please, please. Different wants, same needs. Mind your manners, keep the peace. We laugh and laugh until we cry. Same war, different side. Same face, different mask. Same job, different task. Work and work until your bones show. Sell your time to keep your soul. Many lands, one sky. Same scene, different eyes. Live and let live, we all die. Live and let live, we all die. Same war, different side. Out of 60 poems, I'm only keeping 10. Tear them up, write them again. The 10 I keep change every week. I hate myself and I cannot sleep. Read your letters till I'm blind. Keep your words kind and unkind. Wear your ropes to set me free. Close my eyes to help me see. Close my eyes to help me see. Same war, different side. So if you want to hear that with clarinet and drums and stuff and like a whole band, get Advice. Same Symptoms is on there. That's the name of the song. And thank you, Kat and Peter and Martine, because it is so good.
Thank you. Even the Swamediums. We know everything, and we know how great a performer you are.
Yay.
So you get the Swamediums thumbs up like a few years ago. We are all alike.
Yeah.
Remember that one? Someone had mentioned
yeah.
tonight. I think it was Fred Marchant. We are all alike.
It's we're doing.
Me.
Yeah, we're doing what we can.
The hand,
We're
yeah.
gonna bring up everybody.
Everybody. All right.
We are all alike. JP, get rid of
the black square.
JP is a black square. Come on. JP is a black square.
All right. So, everybody, this was our first session of the 2020 International Virtual Dada Festival.
Thank you for joining us.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
And please tune in again.
The next one is the 8th.
We have the next one it'll be on Tuesday, September 8th.
It's the West Coast.
7 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, which means 10 o'clock Eastern Time, and
10 o'clock at night.
3
a.m.
CST. All right. But thank you so much for all being here. What do you all have to say?
Oh, Bruce,
yeah,
Paul, Eric, Martine, Benjamin,
and
we have. We also had
Linda Lerner.
Linda Lerner who didn't make it. Ron Kolm was not feeling well. Fred, Patricia, and Robert C. Ford.
Right.
I guess if there's Patricia and Fred.
Hey,
put them up there.
Yeah, just thank you so much for all being here. You guys all for being a part of this. We have
I sound like I'm on acid.
Thank you, Peter and Kat.
It's funny. We're in distress. Who's still out there?
I don't know.
Good afternoon.